My name is Jake. Now let's talk music. All right, so uh, I, I don't know what to say. Like, I literally just got finished like editing the Kanye video, and guess what happened while I'm doing this? Kendrick Lamar, he decides, you know what? Let's secretly drop an album, and that's what he did. Like, no warning, nothing. Well, there was one warning. He put out a snippet just saying GNX. And I didn't think that he was going to do that and then immediately turn around. You know what? Here's an album. Here you go. Like, it's noon on a Friday. Like, you can't be doing that, bruh. It, I mean, my my video that I just woke up, I recorded, I edited, I put I it should be out by now. Like it is a Friday afternoon and you really just you know what? Here you go. No warning. You get like this little teaser trailer, but here, you can have that. But even like sitting and listening to it, it's like it doesn't feel like crazy rushed. It feels like everything came together at the right time for him to put this out. Like you it's pretty much a West Coast anthem, which I I didn't think we were gonna get something like that, you know. I thought that was the whole thing of the summer with the whole Drake and Kendrick beef, and there's Not Like Us, Meet the Grams, Euphoria, all this, and then boom, out of nowhere, we get this. And it it's amazing. Like I I sit and I just listen to this and I love it like every single time. It there's a mix of like the meaningful like slower cuts and then you get like this West Coast anthem like on TV off, reincarnated, squabble up, like but then you get the more emotional slower cuts like Luther, Man at the Garden, Heart Part 6, Gloria, and just everything like comes together in a beautiful way, and it doesn't feel like it at first. When I was hearing this I was like, I thought, what, why doesn't this feel like more disjointed, like not connected? But it just like works so perfectly together, and I love this body of work. Now, I don't know if I would put it over any of his other albums just because of like going back to I feel like the closest thing that I say that this could maybe overtake is Section 80, but the nostalgia of Section 80 is going to live forever with me. Like listening to Rigor Mortis, listening to ADHD, listening to High Power, listening to Po Man's Dream. Like, I love that album, and even though this is great, it won't overtake that. But I would say I like this over his mixtapes, like Untitled Unmastered and Overly Dedicated. But I would say this is probably his worst album, which, if this is your worst album, you're doing something right. Like, I used to say the same thing with Kanye back before Vultures 1 and 2 came out. I was like, you know, Jesus is King is his worst album. If that's his worst album, he's doing something right. Because it's true. Like, even though I'm not a like deeply religious person, I still love that album. And I love what he went for there. And it it just feels so weird thinking 2022 you have like such an emotional and introspective record such as Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, and then in 2 years he puts out an album full of West Coast anthems like High Energy, and it's like that that doesn't like make sense, but I'm not complaining. I love Kendrick. Shoot, I love Kendrick, man. Drop whenever you want. Don't tell us anything. I'm like, this was great. I ain't gonna lie. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do the Kanye video, then I can sit down and listen to Man Down by Ice Cube. But instead, I first thing I see on my phone, my whole phone is blown up because I put on post notifications for the different like outlets for music, and it's like I got like 50 posts sent to me about Kendrick Lamar album, Kendrick Lamar album, Kendrick Lamar album. I'm like, hold up, what the fuck is going on? But I ain't complaining. We got a great body of work from him, and it's amazing. I, I mean, even like sitting there thinking about it, when I first seen the track list, I thought reincarnated. I thought, wait, that's the snippet from the Not Like Us video because that's what he says in the video is reincarnated. But like at the time, it was known by the name Broccoli. But I thought, yo, we just got the snippet. Instead, like when I'm listening to this album, second song, I hear that I'm like, wait, what's reincarnated then? And then once you get to reincarnated, it's like, oh my god, this is like him. Like you get like a triple entendre of father issues, and to him, it's like uh Pac is his father in the rap game, and it samples one of Pac's tracks. So it's like this triple entendre talking about daddy issues, but at the same time, he does it. It really does feel like something. Father Time. It reminds me of Father Time from Miss Morale and the Big Steppers, but at the same time, it isn't anything like that. Like the subject matter is kind of the same, but the actual track itself sounds nothing like that, which I love that. Then probably my favorite moment off of the album on TV Off, just you get Kendrick in the middle of the song yelling mustard. Like, dude, I'm like sitting in my bed listening to this album, and I'm just like, I hear that, I start crying and laughing, bro. That shit was so funny. And then even with that, you then go to like the Heart Part 6, which I never thought was gonna come out because during the rap beef, Drake put out his version of the Heart Part 6, which was a diss, which that shit was ass. But still, I was like, dang, he really just ruined the Heart series. But lo and behold, we get to this album and it's like we have the Heart Part 6. And it feels kind of weird like thinking about that because usually when you get like something from the Heart series, it's like you get that right before an album comes, not on the actual album. I mean, even when you think of Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, the Hard Part 5 came before and then was later added to the end of the track list. So, it, hey, it's cool, but it felt a little weird. But I still like it. I'm still happy we got that body of music. Then you get the title track GNX, which I don't really know how to feel about GNX. it's probably my least favorite on the track list. Either that or Peekaboo, which Peekaboo, he pretty much embodies Miles on that track, which I think he sampled one of his songs, which that just felt weird, but whatever. But then you get to Gloria, the like last track, and let me just say, both on Luther and Gloria, SZA does her thing. Like, other than Roddy Rich on Dodger Blue, there was like no rapper from the mainstream or singer from the mainstream that was on this project, like feature wise, and it just was like it fit perfectly because you think of how earlier in the month, uh, I don't know if it was November or October, it was one of the two, but uh, Kendrick Lamar was on the cover of the magazine, which he did an interview with SZA, and there was him talking about his feminine side, like as a man, how he like deals with both his masculine energy and his feminine energy, and it felt like the right thing to have SZA on this album, and I love it. I, I I love SZA's voice, bro. She's an amazing vocalist. But yeah, it's like this is just an amazing piece of work that he put out, and I love it. I love it. But yeah, honestly though, I would say my favorite track is between the Hard Part Six or Man at the Garden. Like those two are amazing. Honestly, I almost cried at the Hard Part Six where he's talking about everything to do with his TDE family and pretty much giving all his respects to them. It was really emotional just listening to that. So I love this track list, and it I'm definitely going to be bumping it for the rest of this year and probably into next year also. Dang, this really like mixes up like this. I have an idea for like at the end of December. I'm gonna come out with a video. It's gonna be top 10. I'm gonna say rap albums because that's what I've been doing. Like the I I haven't I think I've only been doing this for August, September, October, November. I've only been doing this for 4 months, and I've focused mainly on rap. So I'm probably just gonna do top 10 rap albums of the year. Which, with this being put out now, it's like that shakes up the list a little bit. I gotta do some re-listening to some of the track lists that came out this year. I mean, oh, one thing I never even talked about, which I wish I would have. Uh, I think it was on Whacked Out Murals. He pretty much responds to the people that were hitting on him, like talking crap about him with the whole Super Bowl situation. Like, he literally just sat down and was like, all right, you know, out of everyone that like was talking to me about how I got the Super Bowl, only person who congratulated me was Nas. Everyone else is down talking me because it should have been Lil Wayne's show because it was supposed to be something for his hometown. And he's like, I'm sorry, I love Wayne. I was bumping the Carter Three, but the irony is I am doing so good this year that even though I have so much respect for him, I still took away his like performance, his hometown performance. He's like, I'm sorry if you hate me for that, but you also got to think about it from my eyes. Like, I this is a big point in my career. I am doing the Super Bowl halftime, like one of the biggest shows, like concerts you can do. you're on the biggest stage. And I'm sorry that I got put up for this and you're mad at me because the hometown hero couldn't do his thing. Which all respect to Wayne, but I I am so proud of this moment that I'm gonna have. Which I can't help but agree with him. It's like, what do you want him to do? Say, no, I'm not gonna do it just so Lil Wayne can have his hometown performance. I I I just don't see why people are getting so mad at Kendrick. It it isn't his fault. It's not, and it just feels wrong that everyone's going at his throat because he accepted doing the show. Like, for the only person to congratulate him is Nas, that's fucked up. Like, show some respect to him. He's been putting out amazing album year after year. Like, he's one of the top rappers of our generation. Yet y'all just want to steady sleep on him and say that he doesn't deserve this. He's had one of the best years in hip hop, and everyone was saying, "Oh, you can't say it's the one of the best years of hip hop. He never even put out an album." Here you go. Here's my album. What do you got to say now? Why else am I not having one of the best years in hip hop? Tell me. Nominated for 7 Grammys, gets the biggest show in music, wins like one of the biggest rap beefs, yet he hasn't had one of the biggest years in hip hop. Explain that. I it's just put some respect on this guy's name. That's really all I gotta say. You are disrespecting him and his name. Give him his flowers. Respect him. He's one of the top NCs. Yet y'all just want to sit here and discredit every single thing that he does. I, I I'm sorry. I just needed to get that off my chest. It was starting to annoy me with how everyone's talking shit about this man. Like, I'm sorry that I went off on that tangent, but yeah, that's all I gotta say, man. Until next time, peace.